Hey friends, and welcome to another video blog post. Tanatoes here, and I thought I'd follow up on my last post by talking a little bit about the games of Jeff Minter. I bought TXK, I bought a PlayStation, or I should say a Sony Vita, not PlayStation Portable because that's ancient, and the Vita's less ancient. So I bought a Vita solely for TXK. I bought some other stuff to go with it, but it was TXK that I bought it for, and the reason is I love the games of Jeff Minter. I had intended today to do a full sort of roundup of all of Jeff Minter's iOS games. Under the Llamasoft label, he released 9 different games for the iOS, and there's a couple that I'm not that into, but the vast majority of them are fantastic, incredible fun, just great arcade games for the iOS. I have them all on my phone, so very cool. But in preparation for today's video, I thought I'll sit down and I'll play some of these games so that they're fresh in my mind. Some of them I haven't played in, I don't know, a year maybe, since the last time I downloaded them or whatever. So I sat down and I started playing them and sort of got sucked in. Which is part of the appeal of Jeff's games, is once you've started playing them, they're very hard to put down because they just have that, I don't know, you get into the zone, they hook you to the game. It's not so much, I mean, sometimes they're challenging and it's the one more time, just another try thing. But for most of the ones that I really, really enjoy, it's less a matter of getting that one more attempt than it is you start playing and the game is just challenging enough to keep you interested, but not so challenging that you can't just plow ahead, and you rack up amazing, insane scores, and it's just the experience of the game is more what it's about than beating the game. Because Jeff does classic arcade games where the point is not necessarily to achieve a goal, it's to play the game. So what I played today that really got me sucked in, I played Minotaur Rescue, which is Jeff's response to, or his interpretation of classic asteroids. The theory of the iOS Llamatron games when Jeff started with them, the Minotaur Project, he called it, was to do classic arcade games, but with modern software and hardware capabilities. So he took asteroids and gave it a sort of Minteresque twist and filled it with more action, more crazy, more ungulates, it being Jeff Minter, and turned it into just a totally addictive, super awesome, fun-to-play arcade game that just almost never ends. I mean, you get to the higher levels, 25, 26, and the levels get difficult. But on the early levels, it's just pure fun, pure explodey fun. As with normal asteroids, you play the little triangular ship, and you're trying to destroy the asteroids that are flying around you. What he's added to this is, the most noticeable addition is a sun at the center of the playfield, and everything is sort of gravitationally attracted to it, orbits it and falls into it. And you have to destroy the asteroids before they fall into the sun, and also rescue little cute minotaurs who come out of asteroids periodically. I don't know how it's determined when a minotaur comes out, but you fly around and catch them before they fall into the sun. And if too much goes into the sun, it goes nova, and there's this cool sort of twist to the screen, and the sun disappears, and everything's sucked into a black hole, until you destroy everything on the screen, in which case you survive the level, or until you get sucked in yourself and run out of ships. So I sat down for a quick playthrough with that, Ended up setting my fourth highest score at, I think, just shy of 10 million points. There's an achievement for reaching 1 million, but once you've reached that level, you're getting like 10,000 points for every asteroid you hit, because the number of points you get depends on, I think, the number of Minotaurs you've rescued since the last time you died. So as you rescue more Minotaurs, the higher your point value goes, as long as you can stay alive and not die. And so you reach that 1 million point, and then it ramps up very rapidly. You know, within a couple of levels, you're getting 1 million points per level. What a gorgeous, crazy game. And the touch controls that he has for it, he sort of works this, how to describe it? It's like a joystick control, but wherever you put your thumb down is the 0 point. So the further you move your thumb away from that 0 point without removing it from the screen, the more thrust you're giving. And with Minotaur Rescue, I've found you just tap very rapidly in different directions to scroll your ship around the screen, and it almost has a trackball feel to it. Brilliant, brilliant mechanism. Fantastic game, totally addictive, and oh my god, I can't stop playing it. What else did I play today? I played a little bit of Goat Up 1. I never really got hooked on Goat Up 2, which is the only sequel he did on iOS. He did Goat Up a while back, which is a sort of a platformer. You're a little goat who hops around, or you, I should say, E-W-E, that hops around, and you meet goats and have babies. Your life total is the number of babies following you, and you can use them to kill enemies by bouncing the babies off enemies without touching the enemies yourself. Very fun. And it's sort of influenced by Canyon Climber and Manic Miner, the old platform games of the 8-bit era, if you had a Commodore 64 or a Atari 800. You'd remember some of those games. And again, like anything from Minter, totally addictive and full of classic arcade references, and as you reach higher levels, you see new stuff, and it's so much fun just to play. That game, boy, I've never reached the top. There is an end to that game. You're supposed to jump up between platforms until you reach the top of the entire tower of Goat Up, and then you have to hop back down. And I've never actually reached the top, mostly because my thumbs get tired after a while. The movement on that game is you use one thumb to move your U back and forth, and one to make her jump. The longer you hold the jump, the higher she jumps. And after, I don't know, 15-20 minutes of play, your thumbs get sort of cramped, or at least mine do. And this is playing on the iPhone, so you don't have a lot of space to move around in. I haven't tried it on the iPad. I've got a couple of his games on the iPad, but I didn't grab Goat Up on it. He does, however, have support for the iCade, which is the joystick and buttons that are linked by Bluetooth to your iOS device. And I think that is the reason that I never got into Goat Up 2. The second one is much, much harder. It's got actual levels instead of just being a single tower that you hop all the way up. It's got levels, and it's got a level designer, so that people can build and share levels between each other. And it requires much more precise control, and I think it's intended to be played with the iCade. You can play it with your thumbs, but I've never gotten very far in it because it's just insanely difficult to get that pitch-perfect control, jumping specifically to specific points when you're using the sort of floaty controls of the thumbs rather than the joystick and buttons. So maybe someday I'll be able to get myself an iCade and I'll try it. Again, I'm sure once I've gotten hooked on it, I'll have trouble putting it down. So really, that's 2 out of the 9 games that he released for the iOS. I highly recommend both, Goat Up and Minotaur Rescue. Just search Llamasoft on the Apple Store, and you'll see all of the games there. I'm going to stop there and come back and talk about some more Llamasoft games or something else next time. Guys, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you later.